Hey guys, welcome back to the Law of Attraction podcast hosted by Success Magazine. I'm your host, Natasha Graziano, and today we're here in the studio with somebody who is just so sensational. She's such an inspiration. You might know her as a huge host from Extra. She's been on so many different things. She's an amazing actress. I love her Christmas movies. I binge Christmas movies in February. That's actually part of how I manifested my husband, but we'll go there another time. Today in the show, you're going to be learning from this incredible American actress, journalist, and TV presenter. She has been in so many things that you will know of. She has the most amazing podcast called Better Together. Better Together really touches my heart because it helps move the needle forwards for humanity in health. It helps us understand we need to sit, pause, take a minute, and focus on our health. And we're going to dive into that in today's show. In fact, today in the show, we're going to be talking all around how you can prevent yourself from getting into a mess and a pickle in your health, how you can put yourself first for probably the very first time in your life for some of you, how you can move yourself into a better headspace, how you can feel better on a day-to-day. She's dropping some amazing tips, stuff which is I'm really excited to apply because it's going to help me to get rid of some of the hives that I've had recently on my body from different things I've been doing, different foods I've been eating. I'm going to find out some of the reasons why that stuff's happening. You'll hear about that in the show as well. There is so much we're going to be diving into, and I can't wait for you to hear it.
The number one motivational speaker under 40 in the world. We've got 1 billion views.
Welcome, Maria Menounos.
Hey.
Did I say your name right?
You did perfectly because you're Greek, so you know.
Exactly. I was like, as soon as I saw your name, actually, I knew with the end of it, I was like, it's always the end of a surname when you know if they're Greek.
Yep.
Every time. And actually, every word comes from a Greek word.
Yes. A lot of things come from the Greeks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I know. Oh my God, I love it. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. You're such an inspiration. You are so incredible. You've achieved so much. And I would love to dive into health today. I would love to go into something that you're so passionate about, that you're so, you inspire a lot of people. You've helped a lot of people. You went through some really tough times in your life. And it's remarkable that you overcame something like a brain tumor. That to me is, 1 in a million. So it's just so inspiring. And I would love to hear your story on your healing.
Thanks. Yeah. It's funny because, you have a podcast based on your passion, right? And that's basically what I do every day with my show is I'm focused on health and wellness. I love life improvement. We call it a life improvement show. And I've always been into self-improvement. So for me, I have that health and wellness kind of pull because of everything that we've gone through. So the journey to this place was kind of, a little bit long. Like my dad growing up was type 1 diabetic, severe type 1 diabetic. And my parents were, laborers. They worked their hands. They were janitors. And we used to clean nightclubs all over Boston together. And my dad, at the time when he found out he was diabetic, he was taught that he couldn't eat sugar and in any form. So that meant carbs. So now imagine you're a laborer working, all day, burning energy, and you're not eating any carbs to sustain yourself. So his blood sugars would tank and we would have to revive him all the time. And so and the language barrier was really hard to understand what to do and the right things to do. And so I don't know how my parents managed and how we kind of, dealt with that. My dad has had a zillion lives. He's a cat farm at this point. And so we dealt with that growing up. And then, the biggest challenge after, dealing with my dad was my mom being diagnosed with stage 4, brain cancer. She had a brain tumor called glioblastoma. So she was diagnosed in September of 2016. And then I, started taking care of her and running point on her care. At that point, I had a show and I started shifting it towards health and wellness because I needed answers. I needed to figure out how could I get my mom more time because the diagnosis of glioblastoma usually comes with 6 to 12 months. And that wasn't enough for me. And so I kind of took the ferocity that I put into my career and into my work and just shifted it over to her.
Wow.
And and that space so I could research and learn how to kind of hack this in a way, right? So in the process, I'm working at E-News. I have a million jobs. I'm trying to do all these things. And I started getting these really bad headaches. And I would take, Tylenol and the whole thing. And eventually I was diagnosed with a brain tumor as well. It is like lightning striking. It's not something that is hereditary. And
crazy that both you and your mother were like,
yeah, it was pretty bananas. And so the hunt to financiers, just kind of got deeper and deeper. And when I finished my brain surgery, people were reaching out from all over needing help. And they would say, I have a brain tumor too, or I just found out I had a brain tumor because of you, and whatever the case was. So I remember being in my bed recovering, and I would start running point on people's healthcare behind the scenes because I had a cheat sheet, right? If you're dealing with a deadly diagnosis like a brain tumor, I've already gone through the first couple of months of that now. So I can help you get a couple of months ahead at that point. So I was helping people, and I started learning a lot. And the biggest thing I started kind of realizing is the patterns in women, right? So we are, born kind of nurturers, caretakers. We now have also added, we're, working, we're achievers. We're not just at home, and I'm not saying not just at home, because that's a job for very beautiful humans that can do it. But what I'm trying to say is we've added this whole other burden on our laps of having to go work and contribute to the household income. But nothing was taken off of our plates, right? So now women have been trained that they have to be everything to everyone. They have to do everything. You gotta have the job. You gotta take care of the kids. You gotta plan the vacations. You gotta handle everyone's health care. Like, we have to be superhuman.
Wow.
And the toll that it takes on everybody, you're seeing every day. Everyone's ridden with anxiety. Everyone's dealing with some kind of thyroid condition. I just watch the patterns behind the scenes of everybody. And it's a real crisis for women. Like, we really are getting sick, and the statistics are kind of crazy on it all. And so, my goal every single day is, how do I kind of ring the alarm that we matter now? Because I've watched a lot of women wait to matter till they had an excuse. So what I mean by that is, a woman will wait till she gets diagnosed with something to say, see, I need to go to yoga every week, and I need to meditate, and I have an excuse, honey, that I'm allowed to go take care of myself. And it's not to say that the husband wouldn't allow it.
Yes.
We don't think we're worthy of it. We don't think that we should have time for ourselves and to take care of ourselves. And then there's the whole other thing, and just in general, as people, we were born, and it's instantly like, what do you want to be when you grow up? How are you gonna, get good grades, go to a huge college, make money, hustle, win? Then it's like, maybe get married and have kids. And then it's like, health? No one's talking about health. No one's talking about how much you need your health to acquire wealth and success and all of that.
Sustain a good life.
And so it's crazy to me that we're not taught that. And what happens is, everyone, people will achieve. Yes. I did, but the wheels came off the wagon. And then it takes a long time to get back, right? So then everything maybe you've built maybe can fall to the wayside, and you might lose everything, because now you got to focus on medical bills and illnesses and all of that stuff. And so I kind of have found my mission and my purpose. I knew my purpose was always to help people. I always felt that. Even though my life turned into like entertainment and running around doing all this fun stuff in this industry, I think that kind of helped build me to a place where now I can do what my purpose is, right? And so every day I'm ringing the alarms to everyone I can to take their health into the highest of considerations. Are you getting your annual physicals? Are you challenging your medical care professionals to figure out what the root cause of something is? Not just diagnose and medicate, because the problem is still going to be there. And now as you're medicating, you're inciting all these other things that are going to go on. And so what we do every single day on the show is bring the best experts in the world to come in and help us on this journey to get healthier in the mind, the body, the spirit, the whole enchilada. It's spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And how do we approach it with kind of the knowledge of the landscape? Like when you look at anything, right? I was telling you, like in a company, you're going to look at your players and you're going to say, who's good at what?
Yes.
I'm not going to put something on your plate that you're not good at because that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Well, the medical world, the traditional medical world's really great at the things they're really great at. But curing and healing, not as much.
Yes.
Right? You really need to get a good naturopath that's going to help you cure and heal. So that's kind of just been my mission every day. And it's been really cool. I'm healing myself of so many different things. And then we're all healing together. And I always say we're better together. And that's why the show is called Better Together.
Of course. And anyone who's listening now and you want to learn about this every day, the links are below. And make sure you go over to that podcast. And it's out once a week.
We're every day.
You're every day? Yeah. Holy mouse farm. Oh my God. You guys can watch it every single day. Well, make sure you do hit that link. This is an absolute must listen to.
Well, I like keeping people in the flow and keeping them accountable.
You have a new guest every day.
Yeah. Well, we do 2 guests a week. And then we do some chat shows in between. And so, cause I was doing guests every day, and it was like going to school every single day for people for an hour. It was like very intense. So we give a little breathers and we kind of go over the things that we're implementing and the things that are working, because every day I'm getting new tools I'm putting in my toolbox. And then I can say back to everybody, hey, I've been doing this and it's working. Or, hey, I've been doing this and it's helping.
Yes.
So.
Well, I was literally just speaking to you about this before I came on. I was saying, how I healed my overactive thyroid, which is an autoimmune disease, hyperthyroidism. And after that, it woke me up to, I must look after my health. Yeah. But it just so happens, as you came in today, I was saying I have hives all over my legs, under my trousers. And I on my stomach had these raised red bumps because I think I ate tomatoes. But we don't realize what we're eating.
Or did you just fly in?
Nope. It was, yes, I did.
How long ago did you fly here?
3 days ago, Vancouver.
Yeah. So what other people don't realize until you get to an amazing naturopath like I did is how taxing the flight is on the body.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I recently did blood work. This was funny. I did blood work right after I landed. And then I did blood work a couple days later. When I did the blood work and I saw everything through the roof, I mean 5-6 times worse than what my blood work was 2 months ago or whatever. They were about to put me on thyroid medication. They said my hormones were crazy. Everything was out of whack. And then we did blood work a couple days later, and guess who normalized? So now if you aren't looking at your health and thinking, okay, these crazy numbers, these crazy things just happened, I can't just say that is now official, right? Because it's one snapshot of you today. This is what's happening to you today. So luckily we retested and everything was back to normal. But what happens is on a plane, this is how my doctor kind of described it. She's like, you're being microwaved with the EMF and all the devices and all of that. You're being microwaved. So she taught me to ground on the plane.
How do you ground on the plane?
So you have to touch metal. So you have to touch there's metal on the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
And you have to touch it with your bare foot. And so you ground like that. There's also this water called light water that she has me drinking that creates a Faraday cage around your body that protects you from it. So there are things that you can do, but traveling is really, really rough on the system. So for you, have you ever had this before?
So I have it regularly, but I fly regularly, so I wouldn't know. And then when I did my allergy testing, it didn't come up. Tomatoes didn't come up.
Yeah.
Or gluten.
Yeah.
But then every time I eat it, and I don't know if it's those two, but it just seems that it can't. So yeah, you're right. It could be.
So one of the things, I had really bad rashes at some point. I was trying to maybe make the connection between the brain tumor and the rashes because there's a hormonal component to it too. And so I'd be curious if I would check your hormones to see what's going on there. But I worked with Yogi Cameron. Do you know who Yogi Cameron is? Oh. You should have him on the show too. He's amazing.
God,
we're going to turn your show into a health show now. Anyway, Yogi Cameron, I had these horrible rashes and they kept coming. And we used to call them my stress rashes. And so they couldn't figure out what it was. One doctor wanted to put me on Accutane for the rest of my life and all this stuff. I'm like, Accutane, this is like a very well-to-do doctor too. And Kevin, my husband, was like, hell no, no, you're not doing that. And so anyhow, Yogi Cameron came over and we sat together and he talked about kind of Ayurvedic medicine and, hot and cold. He's like, you run really hot. We're very fiery people. We're hustling. We're doing our things and whatever. And then I was eating lots of spicy stuff. I love spicy. I was eating lots of spicy and foods that are hot, like beans create heat. Sugar creates heat. Not just the spicy. You have to think about all the things that create heat in the body. So what he told me to do was there were a couple things. This was my protocol. I'm giving it to you now.
I love it.
Okay. So first he said, only eat when you're hungry.
Okay.
Which was a strange sensation for me because I used to eat because I was bored, because it looked good, because it was fun.
Yeah.
Only eat when you're hungry. So I kind of felt it was so hard the first couple of days because
you naturally just go to binge.
Yeah. And then he said, when you do eat only what comes from the ground, like food that is born from the ground, because those are cooling propertied foods. And only eat what you need. So like I'd have a bowl of blueberries on the counter. And I'm like,
and you couldn't eat them.
And I'd look at it and I'm like, I want them, but I'm not hungry. So what was strange was I started to learn how much of my eating was just kind of emotional or habitual. And so I'd eat a couple blueberries and I'd be fine. And then I would stop. And then I had cut the caffeine, no red meat. And like I said, nothing spicy or acidic. And then he gave me this powder that comes from a tree in India. Oh gosh, what was it called? Oh, they sell it here too. Sandal. Oh, thank you, honey. You're a genius. So he gave me this powder called sandalwood, and it was actually from India. And he said to put it on like a paste. So you wet it in the shower, a little in your hands, and I put it all over my body. Now, I was 3 days away from being at the Emmys. Ralph and Russo had made this insanely beautiful, gorgeous beaded gown with a huge open back, and I'm covered in a rash. And so I put this on. I had been doing the diet, and I put this on, and the next morning from the waist up, the rash was completely gone.
No way.
I'm sobbing in the shower. I was like, oh my God. I was like, because it's emotional when you see all this stuff on your body. And then I did it again and it had completely disappeared. And so that's my protocol for you. But I also think you should check your hormones. You really need a naturopath.
Yes.
And
I'm going to be rewatching this, writing notes, and calling you like, can you introduce me to this?
Yeah.
This is so interesting. What I really love, and thank you for sharing that. I'm so grateful. And for everyone who's listening, you guys just basically got a deep dive into how to get rid of rashes and probably so many other things. What I really love about you is that you are using your purpose in the world in such a phenomenal way, and that you are helping so many people who are tuning into your show every single day to learn about health and to help them better their lives. And that's what it's about, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any rituals that you do every day? I would love to hear like your morning ritual, maybe your lunchtime ritual. Give me your favorite one. What's
so many?
Oh my God, I love it.
Gosh, when you do a show like I do every day, you learn so much. And you said you love learning and reading.
Yes.
I'm addicted to learning and growing and getting better. It's so fun for me. So I've acquired a lot of things every day. We like have someone new on the show and I'm like, oh my God, I have to do that. I have to do that. Okay. I do my morning grateful list with my poodle. And then, nice. Generally speaking, when I say, Winnie, do you want to do the grateful list? Once we sit down and we start with, okay, we're grateful, Lord, for bringing us together and making us a family. Then all the other dogs start coming up.
No way. All five?
Hilarious.
This is so cute.
Like, so my shepherd's bumping into me and now Winnie is biting at the shepherd and the shepherd's like wailing at her. And so we do this whole ritual where we talk about, I say what I'm grateful for. and who I'm grateful for in my life. And then at the end I say, and what do we want to be in the world today, Winnie? And I said, I want to be the light inside and I want to be the light outside. And I look at her and generally I'll say, so you want to be a bitch?
I saw this on your Instagram when you said it.
Yeah.
It was so
I'm like,
funny.
you can be a little bitch. It's okay. So I mess with her because we call her a little bitch. We call her all terrible names for fun. And so we do the grateful. So I do the grateful list. Then I go right outside and I will get some sunlight. So Dr. Allison, my naturopath, is like, you need to get sunlight first thing in the morning. She helped me reset my circadian rhythm, which you probably need as well, with all the time travel, stuff. So I'm outside with my green tea in the morning, grounding in the grass.
Yes.
With my bare feet, and I'll spend about 15 minutes out there. I'll go inside the house. I'll take all my supplements, and then, generally speaking, I'll do my morning meditation, which is a 20-ish minute meditation. Then I'll shower and get ready. And
I'm going to send you my MBS so you can do that in the morning.
I can't wait.
Because it compromises breathing. So it means that, it comprises breathing, which means that if you're starting to do the breathing in the morning first thing, it's so good for your body. Even if you just did like Wim Hof 5 to 10 minutes every day, it has such, and you'll know this from the guest on your show, it has such phenomenal effects on your body.
Yeah, I've had Wim on. I love him.
Oh, exactly. So like every day doing it. Okay, wait.
Yeah,
So
I'm all in.
Now you've done your meditation. What do you do now?
So for meditation?
Oh, no, after your meditation.
After meditation, I usually will do the show or whatever meetings or anything like that.
Do you work out?
I just recently started.
That's so funny. So people didn't, I didn't work out for years and I feel so much better now. I do, but I'm still not massive in cardio.
Yeah.
I feel like I do Body Balance, which is like this Australian, it was based over there, but they do it all over the world. But it was designed by this guy called Les Mills, and it's kind of a form of yoga, Tai Chi.
I love that.
One I'm going to send you. My mom got me onto it. It was like $7 a month or something. My God, it is so
it's funny. I feel like I've been having a calling to Tai Chi, which is so strange.
Oh. Yes.
So I do my own version of it when I'm outside sometimes. So once I'm done with my green tea, if I'm still sitting there in the sun, I'll do like my own kind of versions of the stuff. But yeah.
So, okay, now you said you started working out again. What does that mean for you? Like, are you doing cardio or,
So for me, I definitely accumulated a lot of different kind of autoimmune stuff. And so I've been actively working to reverse them with the Dr. Joe meditations, with my naturopath and all of that. And I realized the one thing I haven't done in over a decade is work out. I've done
to say you have one of the best bodies I've ever seen in my life. I was like singing about it from before I even met you. And you look 10 times better in person. You're stunning online.
Aww.
Like you are just glowing. And I can't believe it. So you didn't work. I also, by the way, didn't until the last couple of years. So I relate to it. Why did you not do it?
First of all, I got a hernia at some point, and it was working out with somebody and he was using heavy weights. And so to heal it, I knew I had to stop completely. So I stopped completely. And then, my mom, God bless her, got 5 years with her brain tumor. So our original goal of beating the 6 to 12 months, we got 5 years. That also meant 5 years of caretaking and 5 years of full devotion. So that was a journey.
She's here still?
I lost her a year and a half ago, or a little over a year ago. Not a year and a half yet.
You gained all those years.
Yeah. So in that time, there was no way. And also I was recovering from my surgery, which was really hard.
Gosh,
so I couldn't work out through that either.
Yeah.
The most I've done in the last decade, let's say, is hiking or walking.
Yeah.
And so I said, let's see what this does to the equation. And I really wanted to get strong because we're hoping to have kids soon. And I'm thinking about cribs and lifting and all that. And my husband's always like, your arms, they're skinny and they don't have any strength. You need to, get strong. And so now I'm getting buff. Oh, shoot, I got a muscle. Look at that.
I love it.
This is just
you look so good. You look
trying. So yeah, it's been good mentally too, because I'm feeling like I'm getting strong. And it isn't carb. We don't really do cardio. We're just doing Pilates-ish.
Oh, so really similar.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, because I couldn't work out through the illness that I had. And then it put me off working out since then because I was terrified of like throwing my body off.
Yeah.
But now I just do definitely light stuff. So can I ask, do you now feel better? Do you feel like it's healing your journey more? Because what I like is you've added it in after you've done things. Whereas when I do something, I do like 5, 6 things at once.
I know, it's tough.
And I never know which one it was, which healed it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think it is helping. I think because, I do. Because I've already seen certain reversals happening.
really?
So, but I think like some of the biggest things I've done, because I called it the Summer of Heal. I was in Connecticut. I found this amazing naturopath. And the grounding, I started doing resetting the circadian rhythm. So I was out at sunrise every morning this summer at 5:15, I think it was. And I would see the first sunlight. And until the sun went to 15 degrees, I would sit out there, no sunscreen, naked, because she was like, all the parts of the body need to see the sun.
So funny. I didn't know that. And I naturally do that, but not at 5 a.m. I just do it when I wake up. I just like walk out in the garden butt naked. And I just love it.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord help the neighbors, but like, you know what I mean? But I didn't know that. That's really important.
Healthy. Yeah. So, it's super important to get sun. And so, I've just seen, like, I went to my doctor recently and I said, hey, that I have this thing called pernicious anemia. It's actually a Mediterranean thing. My dad has it too. And I said, I don't know, I've been having this weird feeling that doesn't make any sense. And it wasn't like it came like a download in my meditations, but there was almost like a knowing that it was gone. Because I'm focusing on full mind, body, and soul healing every single day since like the end of January. And so, because I'm trying to reverse all these things and I can't wait till it all is official in this world, because I know in the 5D world it's happened already. But I said, I went to it and I go, and my husband was there. I go, I feel like it's gone. Can we check? And he goes, no, you're going to have it forever. It's an autoimmune condition. And I said, yeah, but I haven't done B12 shots in months. And I don't know. I don't think I have it. Guess who didn't have it?
You didn't have it.
Bye. That's
Amen.
gone.
So what is it? It's a lack of iron.
It's a B12 deficiency where you can't absorb B12, and so
you have to do
but it's not a great thing to have. And like I said, I think there's an accumulation factor, right? Everything just keeps accumulating until something else happens that's bigger, which to me usually is like the big cancer word, right? So I've been trying to like, how do I
work on these smaller things so that you don't get to that phase.
Yeah.
The prevention is so important, right?
It is, but it's possible, but people don't know it's possible. So that's why I'm working so hard and guinea pigging myself, because I want to show people that you can reverse things, that you can, because my naturopath talks about it like, there's on and off switches.
Right.
So certain things can be on, certain things can be off, right? There's no maybe curing, because people get really freaked out by the word cure. People are really committed to their illnesses. They're really committed to their illnesses. And so to me, I want to live in possibility. Like until my mom's last breath, I was like, I think you could be a miracle. You've already been a miracle.
Yes.
I'm going to wait till the last breath until like God says, no, this is her actual time. So I'm somebody who believes in possibility and that anything can happen. Steve Jobs created these phones and people thought he was nuts, right? We put people on the moon. They thought they were nuts. Why can't we reverse an autoimmune condition? Why can't we heal ourselves?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm living proof of being one of the people who healed from an autoimmune, which was told you'll have this for life. There is no way. They said you'll go back to hypo. You'll go the other way. So you'll go hypo, or you'll go no. And I've just monitored since then. But you have to take that upon yourself. And you're right. It takes sometimes. You have to go through something, unless you wake up, because you're listening to this show right now.
Yes,
and you're like,
wake up!
Maria is so good. This is changing my life. And I need to listen to her show every day, because her show is going to bring on guests who are going to inspire me with my health. And that is what you need, girl.
Yes.
They need to wake up today. So I'm telling you, from someone who's been through a health condition, and so have you.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you are bedbound. Your body, if you don't listen to your body now, your body will force you to listen to it.
Yeah, it will.
It will put you on your back. So you have to listen. I had to listen.
Yeah.
I was eating how I wanted. I was eating carbs. I was eating gluten, however I wanted. And I didn't realize I needed to change me.
Yeah.
I needed to take a long, hard look in the mirror in my mind of who I was here. I put myself on a pedestal, and it is so hard to get off that pedestal when you're stuck on it. It is so hard to jump off when you are on a pedestal and you feel like, oh, my life is amazing and I'm in such a great place. It is so hard to get off. But you have to just sometimes take a leap of faith and the net will appear.
Yeah. And you
just
have to be the
get off it.
CEO of your own health.
I love that.
You have to be the one who's investigating and researching and looking into everything and
Yes.
monitoring and saying, well, okay, Maria just said that her blood work was screwy because of the flight. I mean, when the naturopath told me, she goes, I think it was the travel. You did a lot of travel. I was like, oh, okay, now that one's a little far reaching. I don't know if I can buy that one, because I'm sitting here when massive institutions are telling me they need to put me on all kinds of medicines. And then days later, it's like, no, you don't need to be on anything. Everything's normalized. So when you hear that, you know, oh, there's something possible. That's why I'm every single day doing the show, because people need to hear every single day what's possible, what's a new way to think about things, what's a new perspective you can have on it. And it keeps me accountable. Like, this selfishly is for me, but that's why I say we're better together. Like, we're going to do it together. Like, it's for all of us together to do it.
You are helping so many people. I can just feel it with your energy, and you're so in alignment with your purpose. It's so beautiful to see.
Thanks.
Women, man, anybody who just finds their purpose and knows, I am going to stand in it. You know, I do think that's why people like you and I went through some kind of illness in some way, because we were doing something else that we thought was so brilliant. And yes, in so many ways it was, but and particularly for you, you've always done exceptional things. Whereas I had to go through an illness to say, honey, you're going in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the world, Hollywood now, it used to be sex, drugs, rock and roll. Hollywood today is wellness. It's like, what matcha place can I go to? What vegan place can I go to? How good can I feel?
Oh,
that's what
so
Hollywood,
funny.
right?
I didn't think about it like that, but you're right.
You are the representation of Hollywood today. You were Hollywood back then when it was like that, and now you're Hollywood now. I'm going to call this Hollywood.
That's funny.
You represent that. You're like the new Hollywood.
It's so funny.
Right?
And it wasn't intentional. It just happened.
Totally. It has to happen. Like,
But
we have to get woken up, right?
Yeah. And I think that, it's like when something's not feeling good and not working, like, you're being pushed into your new kind of thing. And I remember towards the end at E, I was like, it was like, it was arduous. It was getting arduous.
Yes.
And so, I always say the brain tumor was the greatest gift, because it knocked me down so that I could reassess and redefine success for myself, which was a big thing. Simplifying as much as I could. And I wish I could simplify so much more. I would love to live in like this space, just a small room and just have no stress. We overcomplicate our lives so much, accumulate so many things. All those things need things. They need to be dealt with. They need to be handled,
looked after.
And then we're all falling to pieces. Our health is dying because we need to take care of all this stuff that we don't need. It doesn't matter.
I always say I would love to when I go back to Vancouver, I always say to people, go to Canada if you want to retreat. Like, it's so relaxing there. Like, I don't know anyone. I live so far from anyone. It's like our house is on the top of it's like small mountains before the mountains. You go hiking and it's right there at the top on the ocean, and it's just us. And it's like peace. No thank you to the outside world. Grounding. I walk, I hike barefoot, terrified of the bears. I have to carry bear spray everywhere, but like, that's real over there. There's cougars and bears. But apart from that minor detail, I go there to retreat, and I love it. I love it. And you just switch off. And if in an ideal world, you'd live in a little hut, wouldn't you? Just like with nothing, no Wi-Fi, and just like, that would be the dream. But because we live in this century where we need things, we need, we have all of this stuff to make it function, to make a show go out in the world. We need all of this stuff. But what you and I have learned, which I love, is we know how to turn off.
Yes. And you have to have a good self-care process. Like, meditating every day is
non-negotiable.
Like, non-negotiable. And if I have any free time, I'm going to go meditate, and I'll do a 75-minute meditation like I did yesterday. I'm like, oh, you know what? I can't think of anything that really has to be done right now. I'm going to meditate because that's going to make me better.
I love that feeling. What star sign are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Are you?
Mhm.
How funny. Just made really good friends with a Gemini the other day.
Oh, yeah?
My first Gemini friend, you're my second.
Oh, no way.
I love it. Yeah,
What are you?
Sorry about
Are
any
you a
of my friends who
Scorpio?
are listening. No.
Oh.
Sorry to any of my friends who are listening right now who are Gemini. And you're like, babes, what do you mean? I'm a Gemini. I'm really sorry. Okay. And like anyone in my family as well. Wait, are you?
So
You thought I was a Scorpio? No.
well, he's a Scorpio, so I
Really,
just had a
Scorpio
weird.
Men are really different but then that may be why we really connect. No, I'm not a Scorpio.
What are you?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh.
Capricorn and Capricorn and Capricorn and Capricorn. Like all the. Are you
interesting?
Are you Gemini on Gemini on Gemini on
See,
Gemini?
what am I? I'm not Gemini on.
Gemini sun, she's a Pisces rising and Cancer moon.
Oh, she has a mix. Okay, really, really beautiful signs. Yeah, that explains you. You're so amazingly like calm in your way, and just like, but so like such a big achiever.
Well, I think I've become more calm. I don't know, honey. Was I calm like this before? No.
He,
It was
like her husband's like in the studio,
shaking
like
now.
shaking his head right now.
No,
So funny.
it's the meditations. The meditations have changed my whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're bit till you become it. You know, I put it out there in the world. It's like, it's so important. My final question to you, we could do this forever. And actually, you know what? We're going to do part 2 because I would love
Yeah,
to.
let's do it.
Do like a whole thing just on your journey of health and your favorite people who've been on your shows, the things that you've learned.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Talk about it here.
Yeah.
So that'd be really cool to like bring out, you know,
Because success is also health.
Yes.
You can't have success without health.
My final question is exactly that. What is success to you?
Success to me is getting to wake up and be happy every day because you're doing what you love and you're living in your purpose and everything just is kind of in alignment, I guess. Like I woke up soon after I started my meditations this year. I was in my kitchen in the morning and I go, honey, I'm happy.
Oh.
And he's like, what? And I go, no, but I'm like so happy. I feel like I could lift a car with my joy. Like I didn't know this existed.
Wow.
And so I think living in alignment with your purpose and doing what makes you happy every single day. I mean, listen, a lot of things make me happy. Like I could be working at, a lodge at a safari with animals and I would be the happiest ever, like in being in nature. Oh. I have a lot of things that can make me happy. So it's actually quite a challenge sometimes. That's why I've done so many things in my career. But I am so happy getting to do what I do every day. And success to me is having a peaceful life and feeling peace inside. Like I didn't know what it meant, but Dr. Joe had said at some point you'll feel whole. Mm-hmm. And I remembered recently actually just sitting by my pool in my backyard, and I never could sit by myself at the pool. I always needed a friend to make me feel like it was okay that I could sit there and I could keep my attention away from what I'm doing and work and all of that, right? I wasn't permitting myself to just be unless I had somebody to entertain, right? So then I felt like I had a purpose. So I'm sitting by my pool and I'm like, I'm totally content being here all alone. And I feel great. I got in the hot tub. I jumped in the pool. I read a book and I'm like, this is amazing. I finally feel whole all by myself.
That's exactly what he had said.
Yeah.
You would feel.
Yeah. And he said, you're going to feel happy for no good reason, but there is a good reason because I feel peace. So success for me is that I now feel successful. I never felt my success career-wise because I never had time to be present.
Wow. That is such a beautiful description of success. And such an amazing way to end today's show. I am so grateful for you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's just such a beautiful organic conversation.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for part 2.
Yes, me too. I have plenty to say. Don't worry.
So if you guys enjoyed today's show as much as I did, make sure you share this with a friend. Send it to somebody who perhaps is going through something in their life right now that they need. Maybe they're going through something that in health, maybe they need to slow down and be more present. Whatever it is that they're going through, or whatever it is that you're going through, or if you just want to prevent yourself from going through, this is the episode for you. And go to Better Together. Hit the link below. Go and subscribe to the podcast. Actually hit subscribe so that every day On your device, you're getting this new show every day from this gorgeous human who is going to show you from the inside out how to heal yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Natasha Graziano, and I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Hey, Success audience. Thank you so much for joining us for the Law of Attraction podcast with Natasha Graziano. If you never want to miss an episode, click that little button right there and subscribe. Join us every week on Thursday for the Law of Attraction. Thanks.